EXSIN Live. It's Dave and Phil. We were happy to be here. And, we've realized something a long time ago, having to deal with people and employees. People are freaking hard.
People suck.
They're hard. And running a company and managing people is hard.
Yeah, people suck.
But here's the challenge for you. You're doing it to yourself.
Yeah, you usually are. I mean, if you're not, as leaders, you got to take time to understand, first of all. And we've talked about this. People say, well, why can't we just have employees that look at my business like it's their business? Well, quit living in a damn fairy tale world. It's not their business.
Well, why can't they read my mind and do what I think they should do?
Right. I want them to work as hard as I work.
Why don't they have the vision I have? Why don't they do the process the way I do them? Well, let's start with something about business. It's really important. You have to have structure.
Yeah.
You have to have a laid out organizational chart with responsibilities. You have to have tasks and expectations set for your employees. They have to understand what those expectations are.
To your point, we have a client that I won't name, but is in Norman. And I was down there meeting with them this Monday after another client meeting we had in Oklahoma City. And I was interviewing some of their current employees.
Oh, no.
And I said, what would make you the happiest? I talked to 8 people. 7 out of 8 said, can you just get us an organizational chart so we'll know what we're supposed to do and when?
Simple answer. Like business owners, I know you're focused on your business, but when we talk about our business battle rhythm that Phil and I have for companies and owners, the first thing you need to do before you even start a business is determine what the structure is going to look like when you reach your vision.
Yeah.
What things you're going to have to do when you reach the goal you set for yourself for years from now? What is that organization going to look like? And then under that organization, what are those jobs? What do they entail?
Yeah, because I think, you can have, let's say you have 10 employees. So you're a small business. You can have 10 people that think they know what the company vision is, and they're 10 completely different visions.
Yep.
And so you're never going to be as productive or as efficient or as profitable as you could be if you just simply took the time to make sure everybody understood the basic blocking and tackling of the day-to-day of working inside that organization.
100%. And when you build your structure and you have the defined positions, what it's going to look like in 10 years, then you go down and you create a job description for each of those positions. 2 reasons. 1, the employee that comes in knows what they're going to do. 2, you know exactly who you're trying to hire to fill that position.
100%.
So you can build the structure.
Well, we were meeting with another client that has identified that they've had some turnover.
Yeah.
And what we talked through with them was, well, you're fishing in the wrong pond for your employees. I mean, you're hiring. I mean, have you noticed all the people that aren't sticking have the same, they look the same. The people that are killing it, they look the same. So go find the people that are killing it. Go get more of those people.
Well, and honestly, if you define exactly what you're looking for, you know which bait to use, you know which lure to use, you know how to catch that person. Yeah. Honestly, we have clients that just hire people because they want to help people. And
it's unbelievable.
And it's challenging for them because they have a ton of turnover and they're hurting themselves.
Well, they're a good person. Well, I know a lot of great people that I love that I wouldn't want to work for me.
Well, and that goes back to this. If you have a bunch of employees, you have 10 employees in your company, are they in the right job?
Correct.
Do you have the right people with the right skill sets in the right position? If you don't know what skill sets you need to complete that task, you can't put the right people in that job.
100%.
And part of this ongoing development is sitting down with folks, having those awkward conversations about job performance. Hopefully they're good, but usually there's some challenges, and walking them through what you see them doing and your perception of what they're doing, not in the way you want them to do it. And I'm not saying wrong, but not in the way you want them to do it.
We were in a client meeting this morning early, that started at 7. So Dave had to get up early today. But
I was doing my second workout.
I know you were. Yeah. The perception of, or their perception of things. This is an employee, a very successful employee.
Yeah, does very well.
Good person, but their perception of how things are going compared to the leadership team is night and day.
Yep.
And again, it comes back to not having clear understanding of things.
And the next thing you do, define those processes for your people so they know what to do. But more importantly, take time to train them. Now, I'm going to talk about training. Training is good if it's followed with activity to reinforce that training.
Yeah, 100%.
Sitting there being a talking head in front of people is not going to get anything done.
Well, because what happens is we've all been here. I always use Oh, what's the guy that makes you walk or gives you an opportunity to walk?
Oh, Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
You know, so once you've walked across the hot coals,
You're pumped up.
And
You are a human being that's invincible now.
And paid thousands of dollars to go to one of his conferences. You go back to your job or go back to your business, and what happens? You get kicked in the teeth with reality. Mm-hmm. All the rah-rah stuff goes away, and most people fall back to doing exactly what they were doing before. And so it just doesn't serve a purpose. Never has, never will.
Hey, Matt, I just turned on comments for you, but I struggle with the balance between leading with a firm hand and the critical labor shortage. I'm not saying necessarily lead with a firm hand. I'm saying lead more like a parent. Tell them what to do, show them what to do, let them show you what they thought they should do, make small corrections and move forward. They need that training. And when I say training with activity, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
and Matt's hit on a really critical thing right now. I mean, with the labor shortage that's out there, and I still don't understand how we have a labor shortage, but anyway, with the labor shortage that's out there, it is scary if you find somebody that is a good hire, can do the job, checks all the boxes. You don't want to quote unquote run them off, because there are people out there that are actively, what do they call it, silently quitting? Is that what is that the big term now?
Yep.
I mean, so it's scary, but I think, again, if you have a process like the business battle rhythm that gives you step-by-step steps to take, you're greatly improving your chances of not losing those employees. People still want to be led. They do. It's all about how do you go about leading them. So, you know, in the 1970s and 80s leadership styles, I mean, when I grew up, it was real simple. There was a boss, you did what they said or you got fired. That's not the same world we live in. Not the same world we live in.
Matt, as a business owner in Kansas, said the same thing. He said, you know, people they don't care if they get fired anymore.
They don't.
Getting
fired used to be a horrific thing. Nobody wanted to experience that. It wasn't just for.
It was a badge of shame.
It was. It wasn't.
It's not a badge of shame anymore.
No, it wasn't just because I don't have a job right now, I have to go find another one. It was a badge of shame. Yeah. It really was. I got fired. I failed.
Yeah.
You know, now it's just not that way. And that's a real world, legitimate challenge that owners face every day.
100% fact. One of the things you can do to help that, and this is part of developing the right culture, right? So you need to take the time to evaluate and talk to your employees and develop specific things they can work on to get better.
Yeah.
If you're a football coach, you do it with every position group on the field.
Yep.
You tell Johnny, who's your right guard or your right tackle that wants to be a tight end, if you want to be a tight end, you got to lose some weight. You got to be a little faster. You got to work on your feet, specific development plans, or you're just not built to be a tight end,
or just quit being delusional. You're a guard.
I mean, but the point is, with children's sports, we spend a lot of time on batting coaches and pitching coaches.
Everybody's a specialist now. Everybody's got a private coach.
Trust me.
Oh, I know. You paid for a lot of it.
I wrote a lot of checks. I'm guilty. But we don't do it with our employees, and I don't get that. It makes no freaking sense to me. I don't understand, Phil.
Well, I think because this is what typically happens in organizations. We know this because we see it every day. Hey, man, real excited about this new person. Man, they're going to be great. Okay, walk me through the training program. Yep. We did that yesterday. I'm going. You
training program?
You what?
We just threw them in the pond.
We did that yesterday. We got them their badge. Gave them their laptop.
Well, if they even did that.
Right. We did that stuff. Spent 3 hours with them. Okay, that's not a training program. That's what you call first day on the job, just getting your basic essentials in place. But most people stop at that point, and there is no training.
Let's talk about it. So onboarding is one thing, training is another. So let's clarify. Onboarding is the admin stuff.
Yeah.
Getting your company badge, getting your car, getting your computer,
stuff.
Your cell phone, getting signed up for insurance.
Your company swag, if you give that out.
Your shirts, your pants, your hats. Yeah. That's onboarding.
Yeah.
That's
not training.
That's breathing.
Yeah, that's breathing. That's being alive.
That's make sure you pay the tax man and everything stuff.
Yeah.
The next one is training them to be part of your culture and do your job. And one thing I'll tell you as a business owner, if you're invested in that training, you're going to find out real quick how good a fit that employee is for your company.
And that's the key thing. Culturally, you'll be able to, because listen, when you hire somebody, that's the smartest you're ever going to be as a boss.
And that's the best employee they're ever going to be.
And that's the best employee they're ever going to be, because you're really smart, because you were smart enough to hire me. And I feel really good about you because you told me everything I wanted to hear in the interview process. Now we're going to get through all the dating crap, and we're going to start actually learning about each other. And that's where it really matters, right? But so you got to have a realistic expectation of the investment of time and resources to properly train somebody to give them an opportunity to be successful in your organization. So,
yeah, I'll share a funny story with my spouse and I. Years ago, I deployed quite a bit. And I remember coming home one day after a 6-month deployment. My newborn baby was there. He's 6 months old now. And I walk in the house and I start flipping things upside down, right? I'm taking charge. My beautiful bride looked at me and she goes, hey, we need to have a conversation.
Yeah.
I needed to be trained. She looked at me and with her loving eyes and a heart, and she said, honey, you're really good at flying stuff, and I'm okay with you deploying and doing this, but this is my house, and we're going to do things a certain way. When you come home, you don't get to flip everything upside down.
Yeah.
So I need you to do A, B, and C.
Yeah.
That was a training moment. That was a feedback moment for my life that changed our marriage for the positive.
Yeah.
Because now she delineated, I got this, you got that, we're good to go. We've been married, tomorrow will be 24 years I've been married. Pretty excited about that. Tomorrow, yeah. And
you taking a day off?
No, we got training.
You're killing me.
So tomorrow, but we've been that way because I have a wonderfully patient, loving bride.
You should really take tomorrow off. I can do the training.
I got it. I'm good. No, she's going to be working on everything else. She's got stuff to do. Right. I don't want to interfere with her.
That's true.
But the point of it is when you have those conversations, thoughtful conversations, and delegate and delineate and give specific things, it's really easy to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm. It is. But I think you've got the tough part is nobody wants to have those conversations.
Well, they're going to hurt somebody's feelings.
Right. Or they're going to have to address something that they need to improve on. I know a lot of times if I don't want to have a conversation with my bride, it's because I know
she's right.
She's right. And there's some pain getting ready to occur in my life.
You've had recent experiences.
Yeah. We don't have to get into that. But it's just safe to say that I told her, I said, one of these days I'm not gonna fly off the handle. And she goes, oh, that's not true. That's a lie. You're always gonna do that. So
deep breath.
But you got to have those conversations, whether they're personal conversations or they're with an employee. That's purely a business conversation. You can't be afraid to have it. Now you got to have direct, professional, kind conversations. Don't undress somebody.
You can't say you suck to them.
It's typically it's not a good way to start. First of all, I'd like to start out by saying you suck at this. That's not a good way to start a conversation.
I've got a remedy.
Yeah, it's not a good way to start. But having those conversations is what leads to healthy relationships. Period. Doesn't matter if it's personal, business, whatever it is.
So here's the deal, Phil. We got some 89er stuff to do today here in Guthrie, Oklahoma. Pretty excited about that first experience. Here's the reality. If you don't have a defined structure with defined process and job description with responsibilities, go do that right now. It'll take you a day. Spend the day, write it down.
If you don't know how to do that, let us know. We'll point you in the right direction.
And if you want to be a part of what we're doing with Business Battle Rhythm and the Driver's Logbook, reach out to us. We have a program set up for everybody out there to go build a business. I would say at this point, we have become growth experts in the local area here in Oklahoma City, and we've helped a ton of businesses get out of a bind and grow and have a bunch of really happy customers.
Yeah. It's been fun. It's been painful too, but it's been fun. We've been yelled at a lot over the years. Crying. And we had some crying yesterday in the morning. There was some crying this morning.
All right. It's okay. You're allowed to cry.
Always crying. Yeah.
All right. So with that, EXSIN Live, people are hard. Dave and Phil, we are out of here.